It takes 300 days of bleeding fingers and exhausted evenings to master a single piece of music. But when you are looking at the splintered remains of a ruined instrument, that entire year of effort appears to vanish in a single moment. This was Ella's reality. She didn't have the luxury of a safety net, funding her passion by working late shifts at a local cafe to maintain a student-grade violin. Yet, despite the low quality of her equipment, her raw ability was so undeniable that the entire school would stop to listen whenever she played. That talent made her the clear favorite for the Oakridge Academy Music Championship. The trophy was widely considered hers to lose, with both students and faculty expecting a victory for the girl who could make a cheap instrument sound like a masterpiece. For Ella, that violin provided her only method of projecting her internal skill to the world. It was the physical bridge between her private practice and the public stage, and without it, her music had no way to reach the judges. But at Oakridge, talent often collides with legacy. Chloe, the heir to the wealthy Harper family, believed her position at the top was a birthright. To Chloe, the competition was a formality that should naturally favor those with the most resources. The resource gap was visible in the equipment alone. This diagram shows the difference between Ella's factory-made student model and Chloe's $5,000 Italian violin. One is made of basic plywood, the other is hand-carved from aged tonewoods designed for perfect resonance. Chloe openly mocked Ella's reliance on hard work, insisting that a servant girl could never overcome the acoustic superiority of an elite instrument. She operated on the belief that high-end tools would inevitably crush raw passion. The championship would determine if a massive financial investment could truly silence a girl with a cafe job and a relentless ear for melody. As the performance date arrived, Chloe's confidence began to fail. She realized that even her expensive Italian violin might not be enough to eclipse Ella's technique, so she shifted her strategy from the stage to the shadows. She leveraged her social status to blackmail a classmate named Maya, forcing her to choose between her own reputation and Ella's future. Maya was tasked with a single objective: ensure Ella had nothing to play. That plan targeted the physical vulnerability of the instrument itself. At midnight, Maya slipped into the darkened school building. Ella's violin sat inside a standard locker, an unprotected piece of wood that stood between Chloe and the gold trophy. With a heavy tool and a few seconds of violence, the strings were snapped and the body of the violin was cracked open. The physical medium Ella needed to compete was effectively destroyed. Chloe's logic was simple. If you destroy the tool, you destroy the artist's ability to create. She assumed the music lived in the instrument, not the person. The morning of the championship arrived with a packed auditorium. The atmosphere was tense as the judges prepared to score the best young musicians in the region. Chloe performed first, utilizing her expensive instrument to produce a technically perfect piece. Every note was resonant and clean, earning her a massive score of 9.5 and setting a nearly impossible bar for anyone else to clear. To the audience, it looked like the Harper family's investment had paid off. The best tool in the room had produced the best measurable result, seemingly confirming that money dictates excellence. Backstage, the realization of the crime was setting in. At the exact moment the judges called her name, Ella opened her case to find her violin shattered. Chloe watched from the wings with a triumphant smile. She believed that by eliminating the physical vessel, she had permanently removed her only real competitor from the board. The stage manager signaled for Ella to move. She faced a stage designed for an instrumentalist, holding nothing but the memory of a piece she no longer had the physical means to perform. Instead of walking away, Ella stepped out under the lights with empty hands. The crowd fell into a confused silence as she stood alone in the center of the grand stage. She closed her eyes and began to sing the melody she had practiced for 300 days. Without the wood and strings to act as a middleman, she delivered the music directly from her own voice. The emotional weight of the performance was staggering. It bypassed the technical perfection of Chloe's violin and hit the judges with a level of raw art no manufactured tool could ever replicate. The music never lived in the spruce or the strings. Those were just the delivery mechanism. The real instrument had been Ella herself the entire time. The judges abandoned the standard rules of the competition, recognizing a level of mastery that transcended the requirements of the championship. They awarded Ella a perfect score of 10. In the wings, Maya watched as the audience stood to applaud a performance her sabotage was supposed to make impossible. Seeing the sheer power of the incredible talent she had tried to break finally outweighed the fear of Chloe's threats, and before the ceremony ended, she was in the principal's office, admitting everything. The fallout was immediate. Chloe was disqualified and suspended, stripped of the unearned victory she had tried to buy. The Harper family name was no longer synonymous with excellence, but with the failure of their own tactics. The events at Oakridge demonstrated a clear limit to the power of wealth. Money can buy the physical medium of art, and it can certainly manufacture obstacles for those without it. While you can buy a violin and you can break a locker, you cannot destroy an artistic soul. Ella proved that the vessel is secondary to the voice within.